Welcome to This Week on Main Street. I'm Chris Owens along with Perry Williams, and it's the final edition of June 2016. July's just around the corner, and
lots to do.
the calm before the storm, I think, is probably the best way to refer to
Absolutely.
it. We talk on a weekly basis about how busy things are, but I think we're kind of at the pinnacle of summer here, staring the 4th of July in the face and the street dance and all those fun activities we have downtown.
The way I see it right now, with us taking on the parade, okay, that we'll talk about here more, and also with the street dance, one being on a Monday and one being on a Saturday, if we survive next week, we'll be in good shape.
The we in that is what I find amusing. If I survive next week, no, it's going to be a good week, and I'm really excited. We've had a great response to the parade. I still have a couple of applications coming in. The deadline for that is Friday, and the 4th of July parade application. That parade is presented by First Merchants Bank. That application is available on our website, noblesvillemainstreet.org. And to those who have turned in their applications thus far, we are still in the middle of assigning those spaces as we line up. The staging area is going to be over in the parking lot just west of Ivy Tech, as always. We'll start that at 3 p.m. and then, of course, at 5 o'clock the parade rolls out. And then thereafter is the big fireworks celebration presented by IDI in the high school parking lot.
Sounds great. One thing I was seeing or hearing rumors that we're going to have a special political guest will be walking in the...
Yeah, we're going to have a few, as I've come to find out recently. So you'll just have to plan to join us for the parade. There are going to be a lot of people here, and Governor Pence is going to join us. And I'm hearing rumblings myself that there are going to be a couple other people come to join us here in Noblesville. So excited to welcome all those folks to see this long-running program in our city, and then, of course, everything that happens that evening. It'll kind of be nice. I tried to break it to my children that I wasn't going to be able to be with them for the parade because I was doing the parade, and they took that as I was in the parade. Well, no, I'm not in the parade. I'm telling number 2 to follow number 1, number 3 to follow number 2, and so I think I've managed to thoroughly confuse them. But I promised them we'd make it out to the high school for a great time that evening. And then you mentioned it that we start off the week Monday with the 4th of July and all the festivities. Of course, I think this year, with the 4th being on a Monday, things really, probably tomorrow afternoon, the holiday weekend will begin for a lot of people. It'll just be a great atmosphere in downtown Noblesville. I believe it's the Lions Club that puts the flags out. Be a great visual scene in downtown, and just I love this time of year in our community, and just kind of the sense of community, for lack of a better term, that's built there, sense of patriotism, and just a reminder of how fortunate we are, not only here in central Indiana, but to live in the country that we do.
That's Kiwanis Club.
Kiwanis Club, excuse me.
I get confused because Joe Arrowwood's in both of them, okay? But
Joe Arrowwood is everywhere.
Yeah.
So we should thank Joe and then the Kiwanis for what they do. I believe it's the New Day Kiwanis that had the tribute out for Memorial Day. It was very nice. And so looking forward to seeing all that. And then we were talking about the street dance. We're busy before that, too. Obviously, we've got the farmers market coming up this Saturday. So a chance to get out. We have heard rumblings that there is sweet corn going to be on site, so that's kind of one of the high points of summer for a lot of people to go out there. So be sure to join us on Saturday from 8 to noon next to Riverview Health. And then Monday we mentioned the 4th of July. We'll mention a sold-out event, but Thursday we have our second in the Meals from the Market series, and really looking forward to see what Chef Rick is going to do this time. Unfortunately, that event is sold out for the duration of the summer. We have kicked around some ideas about how to expand that, ways to grow that. We have other communities coming to us for input on how to do it, and I think they were disappointed when I told them there wasn't a book on or a checklist on actually how to execute this event. But it makes me proud. They say that imitation is the highest form of flattery, and so that speaks a lot to our board of directors and what they've been able to create in that Meals for the Market event. And then, lo and behold, Saturday, you and I will be out early on Saturday morning with our sidewalk chalk, not creating beautiful art, but rather marking vendor spaces for booths along 8th Street, 9th Street, Logan Street, and street closure, I believe, will happen at noon on Saturday, and we'll start to move vendors in for a 4 o'clock open. We have a lot of your favorite vendors back from over the years in terms of not only food but beverages. Barley Island and Deer Creek Brewery are going to facilitate our beer garden for us this year. We've got Clancy's with 3 spaces. They have increased their cooking capacity based on the success they enjoyed last year out in front of the Elks. They'll actually be in the footprint of the event this year, and several others. I would be remiss, and I would miss a few if I tried to roll all of them off the top of my head. But the street dance is presented by the City of Noblesville and Riverview Health. Riverview will have a couple of booths over near the Touch a Truck location and the Kids Zone. This year we're also happy to welcome Colts in Motion. Will be there from 4 to 6 p.m. currently, and the Pacers Fan Band will be on Logan Street from 4 to 8 p.m. Probably should mention there is actually a band in conjunction with this event. Lemon Wheel will take the stage about 7:30 or so. On the main stage, the main Noblesville Parks and Recreation stage that will be facing kind of south-southwest as it traditionally does there at the corner of Logan and 9th. We'll have house music from 4 to 5 p.m. DJ G-Not will be there from 5 to 7:30. We've got a camera crew coming on site to take some footage for this initiative that the city's doing. I can't remember the name of the Justin Timberlake song, but the city has put a call out for videos, and there's more information on their website and their Facebook page. They'll actually be filming as we play the song back at the street dance.
Well, that's cool.
So it'll be kind of a neat thing. They've requested that I dance as part of this. I've fought it tooth and nail, and I think the conclusion we've drawn is that it will be better if I involve my family, and there are closer shots of them as opposed to me. Always willing to help out if I can, but that's really not necessarily my strong suit. So join us at the street dance, and again, go to the city's Facebook page, go to the city's website to learn more about the I think it's Can't Stop the Feeling is the name of the song. The challenge that the city's put out there, they're going to edit all this footage down into one big Noblesville video, and I can probably connect you if you're interested in dancing.
No.
Okay, well, we've at least...
So is your, I know you've always told me, and even Maggie says this, is your dancing ability better than your singing ability?
They're one and the same. They're pretty much non-existent. So I'll spare everybody that pain.
So you're going to put your pretty wife and your 2 cute kids up there to help you out.
Absolutely.
So, and they know about this?
They do know about this, and they're totally willing. Both kids will enjoy it, and they should get the attention anyway, not me. So fun to be a part of it, though. It's nice to be in a community that considers a project like that, and good to see people get excited about it. So that'll be somewhere around the 7:15, 7:30 time on the main stage at the street dance. Of course, we've got the ice cream eating contest sponsored by Alexander's. That's always a fun one. I know Kathy
judges that.
Looks forward to that every year. Then the mayor and I will take the stage for a few comments, and then Lemon Wheel is going to be our headliner.
Group which is well known around this area.
They've been with us. I think they were with us in 2010 and 2011. We have tried to incorporate a little bit of history into the event this year, being that it is the bicentennial. And then that's something we should probably talk about a little bit later, as the meetings are happening right now for the Torch Run, which will end up here in downtown Noblesville on October 13th. As part of the street dance, don't forget that the Kids Zone and the Marketplace, and the car show, those conclude at 8 p.m. Then we've got a great screening of Minions provided by Jim Wofford and Hamilton County Television on the back side of the Judicial Center. That'll be around dusk. We're figuring somewhere between probably 9:15, 9:30, somewhere around there. And the band will be on stage until 11 p.m., as will the food vendors be out. The beer garden will be open. And, I fight right now jumping ahead on the 10-day forecast to look. It could be dead on. It could be completely unrelated. You never know.
Well, from what we learned last year, being behind the scenes and having a radio, there were a couple times last year that the weather was supposed to be good, and then storms started popping up because of the hot weather, and actually nothing happened. So you know, we'll always be on our toes, and we have the equipment and the people involved to take care of that. So I feel good about that.
It's a pretty impressive operation to watch behind the scenes and be very loosely involved. I hope the community has a real sense for how dedicated our police and fire, parks, and street departments are to carrying this event forward.
Absolutely.
You know, this is our 25th anniversary, and I also want to mention a special thank you to Lieutenant Cynthia Rodriguez. Cynthia has helped us for several years on the street dance, is one of the community liaisons for the police department, and is retiring on the 4th. So actually won't be with us in the same capacity at the street dance as she has been.
But she was told us she was looking forward to being in the crowd with her granddaughter.
She finally gets to enjoy it in
so.
a different capacity. So thank you for all your support, Cynthia. We're looking forward to a great event. And like I said, the police, fire, street, and parks departments do a phenomenal job with this. All of our sponsors, Riverview Health, the city of Noblesville, Saxony, Primrose, Miller Consulting Group, the Farmers Bank, Hamilton County Television, among others. It's just a great night for our community, and looking forward to people being out.
We can't forget our Lions Club, because they do a huge job in which is one of the things that you don't see unless you're behind the scenes of picking up the trash that is generated during that event.
That's right.
And they man it the whole time, and it works out great.
So the Lions Club actually volunteers and goes ahead of the street department during the event, helping with trash pickup and trash cans and everything else. You think 15 to 16,000 people downtown, that's a lot of waste, especially considering all the food and everything that's consumed. The amazing thing is that as that event ends at 11 p.m., we're typically down there till around 1 or 1:30 a.m. with those respective departments, making sure the downtown looks as good as it did before the event. You really would not know at 2 o'clock on Sunday morning that there was anything that happened there
Unbelievable
five
job.
hours before. And so Dickie White is our primary contact there, but Jason Williams and Patty Johnson, Nick Mosbaugh, and so many others do a great job with our street department. So all credit goes to them, and we're just looking forward to a great day.
Absolutely, great time. Chris, what else we got coming up here? I know after the street dance, what do we have coming up here as far as music and all that jazz?
I think we've got another show coming up Friday evening, July 1st, 7 to 9 p.m. It's Trevor Mather and the NHS Jazz Combo. Nice way to come out and see one of our recent graduated students perform live. And I feel good about the direction of that event. You know, we expanded from 4 to 6 shows this year, and there's been even more student involvement this year than last year. You and I talk about it all the time. It's just a great way to help our students not only boost their confidence when it comes to performance, but to do it in the setting of our historic downtown. It's kind of a unique thing. And then speaking of schools, I may get hit by certain students if I say that downtown, but we've got the Back to School Bash coming up on Friday, July 29th. And that'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. That's in conjunction with Noblesville Schools and presented by Churchill and Antrim. This event will change a little bit from what it has in the past, and we'll have some more food vendors down there, and probably invite Marty Cook on in a couple weeks to talk about that as we draw a little bit closer to the event. We should have a duck race ticket sales opening soon, potentially at the street dance at the end of next week if everything goes according to plan. And a couple other things I should mention that we're working on. If you go to our Facebook page, or excuse me, to our website right now, we have a newly dedicated page on something called alleyway activation. And we've had a big board out at the farmers market. You may have passed it and wondered what that is. Through a generous grant from Hamilton County Tourism, we have partnered with Loci Creative to do some research on what it would look like to program and activate our alleyways in downtown. We've obviously kind of ventured into that with the Thursday market and now this Meals for the Market series, but what would it look like for us to incorporate local art, themed alleyways, music, things like that. So Rachel Johnson is helping us facilitate that. There's a portion of our website where you can go to learn a little bit more and even submit public comment and thoughts about how alleyways could be used. We've had everything from people suggest that we close them down and do some sort of bowling event in the alleys. Obviously, we've kind of connected with food and what that could mean from a dining standpoint. But there are several other options out there. We're happy to pursue that again. Thank you to Hamilton County Tourism for their help in doing that. And so that's kind of a project that will run through mid-July, and we'll put out the research on that. We're also supporting the Cultural Arts Blueprint that's going to be going in front of Common Council here before too long. And then Noblesville Main Street has been talking with the city about reenacting the commission for a local historic district. Matt Yates and our design committee have done a great deal of work, not only this year but last year as well, putting together a document with guidelines about design standards and other ways to do that. So there's in the midst of very public events going on, our board of directors has been very highly engaged behind the scenes as well.
Chris, let's touch on before we wrap up here a little bit about something that's going to be near and dear to our heart because it's going to expand our downtown footprint is the Federal Hill Commons and updating the people on what you know. I know it's run by the Parks Department, but you're working very closely with them, and we hope to be one of their number one partners when this all shakes out.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned that, Perry, because this afternoon is the groundbreaking for Blue Sky Technology in their world headquarters going here in Noblesville. One of the key things that attracted them to that location was Federal Hill Commons, and though it is still under development and still under construction, you can really see it coming out of the ground there and see the potential that this has for us to engage and activate the west side of the White River. And I say us and we in partnership with Noblesville Parks. So we've met several times with them and talked through new programming options, what would make sense for us to partner and potentially move there. I'm just excited to see, again, this one of those things, there's no checklist that says, here's how you do this, here's how you make this happen. It's kind of a process of going through and talking about where we have similar goals and seeing where we can come together on those. I think last I knew, there's probably going to be a soft launch or soft open for the property this year, potentially tying into something with the holidays. But remains to be seen. So we're still, I think they're probably right on schedule with the construction of everything. I haven't had a formal update on that, but I think you can see a lot of potential in not only that property, but again with the opening the groundbreaking of Blue Sky Technology Partners today. This afternoon, it'd be nice to see that project get underway, and as we roll into fall, really see the possibility, know what we're going to have in front of us as far as a long-term home for the farmers market. Obviously, that'll shape what we're able to do and offer out there. It would be nice to have a property with built-in restrooms, built-in seating, and some amenities that we've not had in the past. Obviously, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Riverview Health and for hosting us for so many years. We're also very excited to see the development on their property and what that lends itself to.
Absolutely, that's going to be a huge project that's going to kick off here pretty soon, and of course, most of it is the medical side, but on down the road here, there's some talk about some more retail out there, and so that west side of Noblesville could really be popping here in the next 5 years.
Well, and I can't believe we've gone through almost the entire show without mentioning Serve Noblesville. Yeah. Last week was a very active week in the community, and I'm not as casual this week as I was last when we did the show, but I was able to be involved. Actually, I should rephrase that. I was privileged and honored to be involved in some capacity each day, whether it was from an administrative standpoint, helping manage some of the launch in the morning, the send-off, if you will, or activate some of the social media portion of that, to actually getting out and getting dirty on a couple projects, which was kind of fun. And really want to say congratulations on a great job to that group. Specifically Patrick Probst, who is the chair, lead pastor of Faith Community Church. I wish I had the final numbers. I think we were probably somewhere between 50 and 60 completed projects in the community. Duke Energy sent a ton of volunteers. Churches throughout the community sent several volunteers. And I would say we're probably well north of 1,000 volunteers that were activated as part of those 50 to 60 projects. So hopefully we'll have a final tally of numbers. Not everything was completed, as to be expected, but that leaves us some opportunity to involve people who have just found out about Serve Noblesville after the fact. So I see that as a valuable project for our community that Main Street will continue to push moving forward. So obviously there's no shortage of anything to do. It's kind of tough to keep up with if you're not you or I. Information on most of the stuff we've talked about is available on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Noblesville Main Street. We're trying to push Twitter as well. The Twitter handle is at Main Street, at MAINSTRT. And obviously you can find our website, noblesvillemainstreet.org. It's going to be a great weekend and a very busy week, but a great week. And we'll regroup next week and recap it all for you right here on This Week on Main Street.